Hey guys, I just got in a shipment of graded gold coins, pre-33s, that I wanted to share. Um, I've been, I'm mainly a silver guy by far, but I've been really, for a few years now actually got into the gold side, mainly like kind of like I do junk silver. It's kind of like junk gold, where obviously I know it's not a term, but so it's not necessarily looking for MS63s. It's just, can I get this coin for as close to melt as possible? It'd obviously be a good deal. And instead of stocking up on bullion, kind of try to stock it up as bullion in the form of these old coins that there's really not a lot of them left. I mean, in 1933, they stopped. The government wanted everything sent back, they melted it all down. And unless it was jewelry, then it was illegal to own. So, a lot of stuff was turned into jewelry. A lot of stuff, obviously, there just wasn't as much. A lot of it was sent back. And you got to figure, because these are one of these things, like this is, pre-Civil War, Civil War time. I think it's so cool. Like, soldiers would get paid, maybe, I think it was $1 gold coin a week. Or they'd get silver, obviously, probably more often. But, it's a cool, or that was like a real popular gift that grandparents would give their grandchildren as, little dollar gold. And it was just kind of fascinating. Like, it's like, man, this is really cool. And um, you have definitely have to look, but you can get good deals too. And so I sent them to ICG. It's one of the companies recognized by eBay, which is the important thing. Where companies that are recognized as legitimate uh, grading companies. I know PCGS is obviously, and the NGC are higher, kind of thought of as higher, but it's like I'm sending them in to get graded basically is to be authenticated as genuine. So anything else really doesn't matter. So if it's a damaged coin, X jewelry, whatever, if it's AU50 or if it's fine 12, doesn't really matter as much. I mean, I guess maybe in some aspect if it you're selling it, but the main thing is like when you go to resell it, especially with these, there's a lot of counterfeits, and you really have to be obviously careful because golly, man, I've seen counterfeits. I mean, I'll normally contact the person if it's noticed that hey, this is not real, just a heads up. And most of them are pretty cool. Like, hey, sorry, I don't know anything about whatever. Um, I've only gotten one so far that was counterfeit because everything else has been sent off and graded. So obviously, I know that one of them I didn't send because just the reading was off, the weight was off. It's supposed to be 1.67, and unless it's really worn, the weight's going to be really accurate, 1.67 grams. And this one was like 1.59, 1.6, which doesn't seem like a lot, but percentage wise, and they were pretty accurate even back then. And, so it just, there was a lot of things, a little red flags, but sent it back, got my money back, no big deal. But they're out there for sure. So that's why it's like when I go to resell, if I can have something where it's like, hey, it's graded, it's genuine, let's talk turkey. So I just cut this. I finally found where the freaking opening was at because these things, they send them in just, it's taped all sides, which is fine, but it only opens really from one flap. So kind of makes it interesting. Got our package, got our form for next time. We got our receipt form here. So I'm just gonna put a piece of tape. I've been looking, like I would like to get better at being able to see different grades. Um, and like I said, these are just, I don't know. I like them. I figured I'd share. So this one, not a bad little coin. I mean, let me get the focus figured out here, like where to hold it to get it focused. Of course, now I start to want to focus. Of course, there we go. A little bit. We're getting there. We're getting there. There we go. So, not not bad. It's got some plenty of meat on the headdress. So like I said, this is the type 1. This is from 1849 to 54. Um, these are kind of like I said, most of these are ex jewelry. Um, back isn't too bad. It's got a few like solder marks from jewelry, um, which again, like these down here. Let's see, at the very bottom, you'll see there's an O down there, kind of at the top of the light. I'm just trying to find the right spot here for focus. Let me see if I can focus this guy in. Let me see if I can brighten it up. So a lot of times, like the date, like I still try to get something with the date. I still try to get something with um, just with whatever I can, I guess. But so this one's extra fine 40. So yeah, I would have probably guessed extra fine because the headdress does have a little bit of wear. Um, so that probably, let's try this side. So yeah, I could see that. So this one had damaged, which obviously is to be expected. It has it's got a little, what is it, 52O. But I mean, again, I can't remember what I got this for. Um, but a lot of these, it's just kind of deals. See what kind of pops up. And this one has, so this one's a little bit, you could tell it's been kind of cleaned. But again, I mean, some of them, it's like, there are some rare ones you'll come across, meaning rare dates or just, whatever. I mean, so some of it's kind of like obviously is a little bit more, but this one still has a pretty good little amount of, you see the light on there, it's got pretty good. See this one on the back, this was probably like a cuff link or something to that effect. It was probably, I'm trying to get the light on it. So this is another, let me see. Maybe if I hold it like this. This is another O mint mark. So you can still see the $1. You can see the date. Obviously, it's got a mark in the middle from being probably cufflinks or something. But oh no, there's no mint mark. What was I looking at? Oh, never mind. This one didn't. I thought through the camera I saw, but so this one has damage and polish, which again, it's AU55 details. So I guess this one was a little bit better on condition. Huh. So it's got a little ding on the left, like probably where it's hit or something. You can kind of see a little ding on this side, but mainly it was kind of soldered in the middle. Um, but again, I don't know. Like I said, from the return you get from selling, say, a X jewelry coin graded as opposed to an X jewelry coin just raw, because then you got to go, man, is it real? Is it fake? Is it whatever. Um, at least then if you know it's real, if you need it for a certain data collection or just kind of doing like I am, just where you're kind of just for the gold content. And the same thing with me. It's like if I'm gonna have stuff in here, I want to know that it's not fake. Obviously, I can tell just from weight, size, and you could do a little on maybe a part that's already been kind of damaged. You could do it, at an acid test. Scratch a little bit out. I mean, because it's not like you're gonna damage it any further, kind of. But obviously not preferred. This one seems a little bit more worn. What was the last one? 55, and then there was EF 40. So I would probably say it's going to lean closer to that if I had to guess. This one was real bad, but honestly, like the back here, you can see this one is probably the worst that I own. And I wasn't even going to buy it, but it's O Mint Mark, New Orleans, and it was going for, I mean, basically melt. I mean, it like very close to melt. And I was kind of like, wow, man, it's kind of, I'm sure it had, it was connected obviously to something. There's a couple, discs and some semicircles. So who knows? Maybe just some kind of obviously something, because maybe it was earrings, maybe it was somebody's cufflink, or maybe it was somebody's. God only knows. But it's like, well, it's a New Orleans mint. It melts. So again, it's kind of like, would I rather have a, what is it? EF40? Yeah, so that's about kind of what we were thinking. Um, so it's like, well, would you rather have, a gold coin like this, or a tenth of an ounce, from this year? And I'd still rather have a pre-Civil War. So you got to figure, this is New Orleans, and this is pre-Civil War. So this is right before stuff was about to go down. And then, so some of these, I do have some rarer ones in here that are really not in bad shape, but that's all the Type 1s. Type 1 is really small design from 1849 to 1854. And then in 54, they switched to a bigger design, a little bit thinner, so they could make it wider. Because these little things here are so freaking small. I'll show you next with a penny. Here's a penny. So I mean, look at the size difference. I mean, these things are. I mean, to give it, to not lose it would be a miracle for a kid not to lose this. So, especially, could you imagine if you're a Civil War and you're getting paid with this crap and you're out there, golly, man, that would suck. This one, I don't know. I'm trying to just get it in the right so I could show the details. I don't know. It kind of just looks like this angle here. You can kind of see it still has plenty of detail. Like, you could tell it's been jewelry or whatever. Um, 50 53O. So this one, and this one wasn't too bad. It had a little bit on the edges from something it was in. I can't remember, because now it's in the case. But it wasn't too bad. Like, you can kind of see there. It's still got quite a bit of detail. Um, I'm trying to just move around to show, but not bad. So you can see. I wish it would focus really close like this. Let's see if we can get it to focus. Just wonder if I make it a little darker, if it'll. But you can kind of see. Back it up, back it up. There's a little O at the very bottom. You can see the $1 and then the 1850 right underneath that. So let's see what we got. AU50. And this one is X Jewelry. So this was. Oh, yeah, that's right. This was the one that had, like, around the edges, around the sides. So most of the time you can tell from these from the headdress. Let's get it in focus a little bit. So you can kind of tell just from the high point is the headdress, and like as far as got hair, and then the stars too. Like I said, it's hard on these because these are so small. It's even obviously hard to get focused in because they're so damn tiny. But and the same thing here. This was a pretty good deal, and not a bad grade really, as far as details go. I think that's the end of the Type 1s. So I had a couple a Type 2, I think, and then, nope, I lied. There's another Type 1. Okay. How many do I have? All right, I know there's 8 total. So this one, obviously, is hold. You could see pretty good on the headdress. We got, other than the hole, you can kind of see. I just wonder if, like, Just trying to find an easier way. So let's see the back. So the back, we got. I still got quite a bit of detail on it. I mean, like I said, they're so small, it's hard to get. Obviously, you can see the lights in there. I'm trying to get. But other than the hole, not too bad. I would say maybe, I don't know, 45, AU50, XF45 maybe? I mean, it's still got quite a bit of, chunk on her. What do we got? Dang, 35. I was way off. That's what I'm saying. That's why I want to do these videos so I can. Because, like, this one, I'm looking at the head. I don't know if. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I still wouldn't have said 35, but again, I'm not. I'm not the grader, but. Okay. Again, these are just more for fun because it's just merely authenticating it as genuine and kind of moving on. So then you can see here, now we're into the bigger. So Type 2 was 1854, 1856. 1856 only had San Francisco, which also ended up being the coins that went down with the SS Central America as they were traveling down through um, South America, then up around the East Coast, and came into a hurricane. This one was holed, but it was in pretty good shape, as you kind of see. And this was, there's only a few years of these, and there's only a few with mint marks. Like, there's only 55O, and, then of course there's from Charlotte and from, some rarer places, but this is the only New Orleans. And on this one, hopefully we can get it to show. But on the bottom there is an O. So it's a similar kind of design, but they only did this for a few years, and then they changed it. This one I think is pretty good though. Like I think there's plenty of, if we run it through there, you could see and these were always kind of like crappy as far as the relief on them. It's got little bitty letters. It's got, I mean, you could barely see it. I mean, like even when you're holding it in hand and looking at it, it's hard to really see a lot. But this one, I think, would be, I think it would be AU something. Yeah, AU50. So just barely made the grade. So not bad. But this one was cool because it was like a 55O, which normally without a hole, this coin would be, I don't know, maybe an AU50, it would be quite a bit. It'd be like probably close to 1,000, 800 to 1,000 maybe. And it's got a little hole in it. And obviously that's why I was able to get a deal that I did. But I was like, man, dude, you don't really see them up that often. And when you do see them, it's normally, you know, pretty expensive. So let's see. 2 more left, and then we'll call it a day. This one, now we're in Type 3. So you could see Type 2 on the right, Type 3 on the left. So Type 3 started in 56. So San Francisco did one of these, and then most mints went to Type 3, which went to, I could see details. I couldn't see what else, but obviously it's details. This one was, I was wondering what this was going to get because it's holed, but the top of the hole broke. So it was like more of a, you know what I mean? Like the little skinny part of the hole had broken off. So it's just like a divot. And I was wondering, it's like, is it technically still holed? Or is it going to be something different because it's not technically a hole anymore since it's not completely encircled? But this one had a pretty good, it wasn't bad. Like I said, it was, trying to get it. It wasn't a bad little coin. A little better focus there. I mean, not bad. This one, I don't know. I would think type threes are another one where the relief isn't real high. So it's kind of like they lose their details pretty quick. But this one, I don't know. For sure, extra fine, I would say, because I can see all the letters just fine. I can see most of like Liberty in the headdress. So I would think at least something like that. AU50 again. So that's not bad. Like I said, it's not a bad coin actually. I said, I apologize for lights. I was trying to get it as lit up as possible to show. Hmm. But it got X jewelry instead of hold. So I was kind of curious what was going to happen there because it's hold, but since the hole was broken, is it technically, you know, but apparently not. This one, same kind of deal. It did have a lot of damage, but it was a real rare year. I can't remember. The last one was what? 1871, which this one, 1871, there's not a lot of. Pretty rare coin. This one's in the 1880s sometime. This ran until 1889, and this one I don't know what happened. I think from the reverse when they melted something because it's kind of like a caveat, and see it's kind of indented. Um, so it had good details and stuff, but again it was like whatever they did on the back here is kind of what led to the front, I think. Um, but I'm not really sure. It has obviously something was like soldered on at the bottom, and 1885. So it was just one of those dates where I was like, that's a pretty rare date, and so this one I don't know because I can't really see much of the headdress, but I would still think probably AU50-ish. It's pretty close to being like, oh, okay. Well, I got one right finally. So this got damaged, obviously. This little batch, there was more damage than normal. Like I said, I was kind of just going through some deals, and there was a few that weren't too bad. But anyway, so I wanted to share a few, just kind of what I just think they're cool. I think it's well. Let me get. I just think for the gold dollars, there's three types. Here we go. There's three types, and let me get one that's not hold. And it's kind of like, here, let's do this. So you got like the small, I think it's 13 millimeter. Then they jump up 15 millimeter, continue to 15, but they made the Indian head bigger, and slightly different, but a little bit bigger mainly, and obviously the relief is real low. So I don't know. These are fun little coins. I like the 2.5s. To be honest, like when gold is back down again, um, it's cool to get like a $5, a $10. I haven't got a double eagle or anything yet, but these are okay. The premium is kind of really high, so it is tough because the premiums on this are and the $2.5 are high, even if it's X jewelry or hold or whatever or damaged. So it's kind of like unless you can get a pretty good deal or a coin that's clean grade, no details, then then I just look at it more as like what's the melt, and I think these are like $90 or something melt. So it's like, well, if I can get it for, a lot of companies will sell like APMEX and some of the other ones will sell a raw coin that's, X jewelry, same thing. It'll have some damage or this or that, and they're selling it for like $220. So you got to figure, you know, you find one, obviously a better deal than that, graded, it's authenticated, you can kind of get, a little bit better resale when it comes time to sell one day. But they're just really cool. I just got them in, so I was excited. I wanted to kind of open it up and to see what everything came back as. They send you an email, but I was kind of like, I just kind of basically glanced through just to make sure that nothing was like labeled as counterfeit or anything. And so then I just waited. I wanted to be kind of surprised when I opened it up. So, and I'll send off a few more. I don't really send off any silver because, like I said, I mainly just like the junk silver stuff or silver dollars, but like coals or, lower grade stuff that's not too much over melt. And then the gold, kind of the same thing. But with these, the counterfeit problem is so bad that for resale and for my peace of mind too, I'd like to have it where it's like, okay, this is authenticated, we're good to go, and I don't want to be passing on to fakes just as much as I don't want to have fakes passed to me. So anyway, wanted to share. Hopefully, some of the stuff doesn't get too bad, like with the lights and stuff in there. But I appreciate it. Subscribe if you can, or put a like, and I will be back soon with some more gold goodie. Thanks, guys.